The skies are ready to burst by this objectionable statement. The earth is ready to split asunder. The mountains to fall down in utter ruin. And da'u lirrahmani walada. That they claim for the most merciful a son. وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدَهُ. And it does not befit the most merciful, Ar-Rahman, one who's full of all mercy, to have a son. إِن كُلُّ مَنْ فِي السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِلَّا آتِ الرَّحْمَنِ عَبْدَهُ. But rather everything in the heavens, in the earth, there's nothing except it comes to Allah Ta'ala, comes to the most merciful as a servant. لَقَدْ أَحْصَاهُمْ وَأَدَّهُمْ عَدَّهُ. He has counted them, took account of all of them and have numbered each of them. وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِهِ يَوْمَ قِيَامَةِ فَرْضًا. And every one of them will come on a day of judgment as individuals. Allah Ta'ala says, إِنَّ مَثَلَ عِيسَى عِنْدَ اللَّهِ كَمَثَلِ الْآدَمِ. Very similarly, Isa alayhi salam, Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus son of Mary, with Allah is like the example of Adam alayhi salam. خَلَقَهُ مِنْ تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ قَالَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونَ. He created him min turabin, dirt mixed with water, clay, made into it became like clay. ثُمَّ قَالَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونَ. Then he said, be. And he was. الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكَ فَلَا تَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُمْتَرِينَ. That this is the truth from your Lord, so don't be of those who are doubtful. And Isa alayhi salam said himself, وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ رَبِّي وَرَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُوهُ. And there Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship Him alone. هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. This is the straight path. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah has some strong words for those who claim that Allah has a son, or claim that Jesus is God, or claim that Jesus is the Son of God, or claim that He's one that Allah is one of the three, or that there's a Trinity. He has very strong words for those who would slander Allah Ta'ala in this manner, who would have the audacity, who have the gumption, who have the gall to say this about the Lord, creator of the heavens and earth and all that exists. He says, say what you want. قُلْ مَا شِئْتَ. Say what you want about a deen that its foundation is the worship of a cross and pictures painted upon walls and upon the ceiling, and that the Lord of all creation, Rabbul Alameen, descended from His chair or His seat of greatness and entered into the belly of a woman and stayed there for a period of time between blood and the other matters of the stomach or the other matters of the womb, fi dhulumat, in the darkness of the womb. Then He came out of this woman. We're talking about the Lord of the heavens and the earth and all that exists. We're talking about the Lord of the heavens and the earth and all that exists. المدبر لهذا الكون كله. The one who runs the affairs of this universe, totally all of it. And He came according to this foolishness and was breastfed as a child, sabiyan, growing, shay'in for shay, one right, growing time after time. وَيَبْكِي, crying, Lord of the world. وَيَأْكُلْ, eating. وَيَشْرَبْ, drinking. وَيَبُول, urinate. وَيَنَامْ, sleep. وَتَكَلَّمَ مَعَ الصِّبْيَانِ, playing and going about with other children. being placed in the maktab, you can say the kindergarten, if you will. Bain al-Sibyan, between other children. Bain al-Sibyan al-Yahud, between the children of the Jews. يتعلم ما ينبغي للإنسان, learning what it befits a man to learn. And this, of course, is after they have circumcised him. Then the Jews يطردونه, kick him away, mistreat him. من مكان إلى مكان, kicking him from place to place. ثم قبضوا عليه, then they caught him and placed upon him all types of dhil, humiliation. All types of dhil, humiliation. فأكلوا على رأسه من شوك التاج من أقبح تيجان, placing upon his head a crown. من أقبح, as he said, التيجان, placing him upon a board and then crucify him. مسبوقا في وجهه, spitting in his face. And they are in front of him and behind him and to his right and into his left and to his right. The way Ibn Qayyim puts this in the Arabic language is something very beautiful. For each time he ends it with this noon, ma'asibyan, placed with the children, he says. Learning what? Yambaghi lil-insan, for a man. And this is after khitan, they circumcised them. Then being kicked by the Jews, min makan ila makan, like this. Then spitting in his face, and they're up on him, upon his right and upon his left, and like this. Placing him upon that which any mind would reject, or any heart will reject. Tying him with ropes, as they say. Once again, keep in mind, they say we're talking about the Lord of the worlds. We're talking about Rabbul Alameen. This is their concept. This is a sick concept. This is a foolish concept. This is the ridiculous concept. This is the absurd concept. This is a madness. This is the madness, this concept. Breaking his bones, Lord of the world. وَهُوَ يَسْتَغِيثُ, and he's calling, istighatha is to call in severe need. Lord of the world's calling in severe need. Ya qawm arhamuni, O my people, have mercy upon me. فَلَا يَرْحَمَهُ مِنْهُمْ إِنسان, and no man amongst them has mercy upon him. Ibn Qayyim says, هذا مدبر عالم. This is the one who runs the affairs of the world. The highest levels of the world and the lowest level. The one who everything in the heavens and الذي يسأله من في السماوات والأرض. The one who everyone in the heavens and the earth ask him. كل يوم هو في إحشان. Every day he is in an affair. This is nothing but slander, brothers and sisters. Nothing but foolishness. ثم مات, then the Lord of the heavens and the earth, who created life and created death, who life is for him creation and death is for him that which he created, he dies. وَدُفِنَ فِي التُّرَابِ, buried under the dirt. Then he comes out of the grave and once again ascends to the throne of his mulk, of his, as he calls it, his rulership. بعد أن كان ما كان, after all of this foolishness that has happened. What do you think about a deen like this? That they themselves have to say is غير معقول, it doesn't make any sense. إذن هو معقول, therefore it makes sense. لأن هو غير معقول, because it doesn't make any sense. A deen like this behooves every one of us, every sahib of tawheed, every muwahid, everyone who Allah has blessed and saved from this foolishness, saved from this insanity, saved from this madness. who have been tricked and deceived into believing this type of madness about the creator of the heavens and the earth and all that exists, about the Lord, the Master, the Provider, the Giver of life, the Giver of death, the Owner, the Runner of all affairs. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah talks about them in detail in his book called Hidayat al-Hiyara, or Guidance to the Confused, his response to the Yahoo and Nasara, his response to the Christians and the Jews. He talks about the foolishness of the Nasara and their worship of the Salib. What do you say about an ummah, about a nation, the one who they worship, the one who they believe to be their creator, the one who they believe to be their God, was crucified upon the cross, and then they start worshiping with the cross. And every act of worship, they cross themselves up and worshiping the cross and wearing the cross. Would not be a fact if this was the case. That if this is where your Lord was crucified, your Master was crucified, the giver, the grantor of life, the grantor of death, the one who has shown you mercy and kindness and every good you know He subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. Would it not be a fact that if you were to see a salib, and this were your belief, and you were to see a cross, that, as Ibn Qayyim says, that it would have been a must to burn it. Kullu salib, every cross you came across, every one you had the ability to burn. But once again, the ox. Once again, the opposite. Once again, showing a people of no intelligence. Once again, showing a people of no respect for the Lord of the heavens and the earth. This cross upon which they showed the greatest humiliation to the Lord of the world. Because as Ibn Qayyim says, their ilah. Sometimes they say He's Allah, God. Sometimes they say He's Ibnuhu, His son. And sometimes they say He's one of three. So they have denied the right of the Creator. And they have disbelieved in Him, kafara bihi a'zam al-kufr. Have disbelieved Him with the greatest of disbelief. And they have cursed Him and slandered Him in the most ugly of fashions. And they have denied the right of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. And have denied the right of the servant who He has sent, Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is some of the foolishness that we should be arming ourselves to deal with. There should be no muwahid except well armed, having knowledge of kitab and sunnah in these issues, able to respond in these issues, able to deal with the fact or show or prove the fact of the oneness of Allah tabarak ta'ala and the foolishness of the Trinity or anything connected to it, to show that Allah tabarak ta'ala is high and great and above and far beyond what they ascribe to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Knowing those verses in the Quran which deal with Isa alayhi salam and his mother Maryam radiyallahu anha, to be well armed upon this. This is something where many of us are in a state of ghaflah, neglect regarding. When we're living in a country that this is the main belief. When many of us come from parents who hold this belief in their hearts and may very well die with this belief. With this belief in their hearts. So on us, it behooves us, it's a must upon us to be concerned about this issue. And why let those who are not upon the way of the Salaf, who are not upon Kitab or Sunnah and the Minhaj of Salaf Salih, why let those who are upon deviation and upon ways which are astray, like the Ahmed Didats and the rest of them, like this, let them take this, as they say, قَدْ أَخَذَ الْقَوْسَ مِنَّا وَنَحْنُ أَوْلَ بِهِ. They take the bow from us and we have more right to it. We have more right Was it not our Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, who wrote the monumental work Al-Jawab al-Sahih liman badala din al-Masih, the correct response to those who corrupted the religion of the Messiah? It's an our Shaykh Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah who is writing response to the confused, response against the Yahud and the Nasara. Are we not the ones who are upon the path of those who are the callers of Tawheed? And if we are in fact the callers of Tawheed, then the biggest obstacle, one of the biggest obstacles in our way are those who could commit this type of shirk, or ascribing to Allah Ta'ala that which does not befit Him, of lying on Allah Ta'ala and slandering Allah Ta'ala. This is something we have to begin to deal with, begin to understand, and teach it to our children from early on. From early on, when they come with the questions that are natural to come with in a society such as this. When they see the salib, the cross, they should not think that it's some beautiful form of jewelry that men wear. But they should have the response of Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam regarding this issue. And that is that Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam ordered that they should be broken. And it should be taught to the children, this thing here, this cross, this salib, is one of the greatest forms of slandering Allah Ta'ala. Something unacceptable. Something that must be rejected out of hand. Something that is foolishness, something that is ridiculous. Something that deserves nothing of respect. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, yes, da'wah بإذن الله تعالى. Yes, da'wah بإذن الله تعالى to those who are confused with this madness. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah refers to them in many places, which is too detailed, of course, to go into in a single khutbah. But he mentions some of their acts of worship and the like, saying about them, الَّذِينَ اخْتَارُوا الصَّلَاةِ, those who choose a prayer that the most righteous amongst them ممكن يبول فيه, might urinate while he's praying. And the urine may flow, as Ibn Qayyim says, على ساقه وأفخاذه, and upon their thighs and upon their calves, facing the east, then crossing himself up with his hands in front of his face, worshipping a God that has been crucified, opening their prayer. And he means by this to show the foolishness of their ibadah, even to such a degree that there's no such thing as tahara, cleansing oneself. There's no such thing as a wudu. There's nothing of this nature, that you can very well urinate at the same time that you are making the prayer that the Christians make. Then I say, Ya Abana, anta alladhi fis samawat, or our Father, you are the one in the heavens, glorified be your name, and may your kingdom come as you want it in the heavens as it is upon earth. Give us our daily bread. This is the extent of prayer. Does this sound like salah? Does this sound like a ibadah that in any shape, fashion, or form would be legislated by the creator of the heavens and the earth? Then he say he may, as he says, break his wudu, as we would say in modern day terms. Pass wind, urinate or whatever to his side. And he may, while he's praying, while he's on his knees, or with his hands in front of him, sitting there, whatever the case may be, ask about the price of khamr, alcohol, wal khanzir, pork. Talk about gambling and what has been cooked in his house. like this. Pork. Talk about gambling and what has been cooked in his house like this. And if he wanted to urinate, as Ibn Qayyim says, in his place, he would have done so. Then he calls up on these pictures that is in front of him, that has been done by the hands of men. These are people who choose this type of salat upon the salat, the prayer that Allah has blessed us with. Allah has blessed us with, of cleansing ourselves and our clothing and our bodies from najasa, and facing the Bayt of Allah Ta'ala, the house of Allah Ta'ala, and praising Allah Ta'ala and glorifying Allah Ta'ala in a manner that befits Allah Ta'ala, and having private conversation with Allah Ta'ala, and praising Him and recognizing His oneness, and singling Him out for worship, and seeking His help, and asking Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for hidayah, for guidance, and in the path that leads to His pleasure. This is an ummah that have chosen this over this. Are they in fact, in any shape, fashion, or form, are they in any way equal or connected? This matter is a matter that should concern all of us. None of us should leave here today except that he or she has the concern to call those upon this belief to Tawheed. For they are in darkness upon darkness. They are in a state of madness and insanity regarding issues of the Lord of the world, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And this should be clarified, and this should be something called to and giving da'wah to. And all of us should have the concept of removing the doubts from those who have doubts. You can't refute the foolishness that you just heard. Who can't refute that? Who has the fitrah salima, who's fitrah salima, who's been blessed with the tawheed. Once again, the ayah in the Quran says, وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدَهُ. And they say the most merciful has taken a son. لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْءٍ إِدَّةً. You have come with that which is most monstrous. That which is most monstrous. That which is insane. That which is madness. That which is outlandish. That which is absurd. تَكَادُ السَّمَوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ. The heavens, the skies are ready to burst. The skies are ready to burst from such an assault upon the sovereignty of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. وَتَشَقَّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَنْشَقُّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ حَدَّةً. And the earth is ready to split asunder. That which we stand upon is ready to split asunder. This is the position of the heavens and the earth regarding this issue. And many of us may hear this madness from time to time, and see it from, or hear it, or see it from day to day. And it's as if it doesn't affect us. And it's shirk, and the most atrocious form of shirk. And it's slander, as Ibn Abbas said, in a manner in which no one has slandered Allah Ta'ala like these people. No one has slandered Allah Ta'ala like these people. And then you have those Muslims who want to take the ayah out of context and say, well, they are the closest to us. They're the closest to you. They're not the closest to the muwahid, to the one on tawheed, to the one who has a love for Allah Ta'ala, the one who believes in Allah Ta'ala in the manner that is suitable to believe in Allah. And the mountains to fall down and utter ruin. This could have a tafsir of its own. Could have a lecture just on the tafsir of this ayah. Sky ready to burst, earth ready to split asunder, mountains ready to fall. And many of us might hear these words of shirk, might hear these comments, might hear these statements, might hear these quotations of these verses, might see this lie promoted every year and every month and every day and every week. And it's as if it goes beyond us. Has no effect upon us whatsoever. That the mountains and the skies and the earth contain more tawheed than we do. Ready to split asunder. And da'ul rahmani walada. That they claim for the most merciful that he has a son. وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدَهُ. It doesn't befit Allah Ta'ala. Doesn't befit Allah Ta'ala. He's far above that, far removed from that He would have a son. For what? إِنَّ كُلَّ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَلَا إِلَّا آتِ الرَّحْمَنِ عَبْدًا. Everything in the heavens and earth except that it comes to the Rahman as a servant. Look at أَحْسَاهُمْ وَأَدَّهُمْ أَدَّةً. He has counted them and counted and numbered each and every one of them. Each and every one of His servants. وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِهِ يَوْمَ قِيَامَةِ فَرْضًا. And all of them will come. And all of us will come to Allah Ta'ala on the day of judgment. Individual. As individuals. Isa alayhi salam said, and his message was very clear, وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ رَبِّي وَرَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُوا. فَاعْبُدُوا. Where Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship Him. هَذَا الصِّرَاطُ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Let's get moving with this da'wah of Tawheed. Let's knock down the concepts of Trinity and shirk, and the claim of a son, and all of this madness, and the stories and the falsehoods that many of us were raised upon, and many of us heard. It should make our hair stand up on end. We should feel responsible to give da'wah to Tawheed and knock this madness away. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وأقيموا الصلاة.